First thing on the agenda is bill voucher signature.
I don't have the letters.
All right, we'll approve meeting minutes from October 16th and October 20th.
I do not have the draft with me. There's the one change of noting the West Bridgewater.
Right.
It was Bridgewater for one. This is following that.
Can I just motion to approve with the fact that I abstained? Because that's not in here. Did I amend it? So that was the meeting, both sets, 16th and the 29th.
Yes.
Okay. Under new business, we have to approve a health agent job description. And to post position for hire for a new health agent.
I have all these,
From everywhere.
I have several that I've found on websites.
Okay.
I didn't make everybody
Oh,
copies.
here's the Whitman,
I have a copy of the Whitman right here.
Yeah, it's
I actually
social
like the
things.
Whitman.
I do too.
The ones that you sent, I like the way they have everything listed.
I do too. I'm
Um,
very much in favor of Whitman's.
Well, I don't want to do a blanket, say copy Whitman.
No,
But I think we can definitely use it as a reference. You know, for example, I like how they do list the different types of inspections, indoor skating rinks, air quality. I can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not aware we have ever really addressed that as far as the Board of Health goes. Not that we ever had an issue with it, but I think just to cover all bases, if we're going to start from scratch here,
yep.
going forward, I think we should do our due diligence with this. You know, things like the tanning beds. There's another one, was it Whitman, but they also actually listed massage parlors as far as inspections. Have we ever addressed massage parlors? as far as-
Massage parlors are regulated by the state. That's what I've always been told. I can look into it.
Regulated by the state, so nobody does any as far as health code, sanitary inspections.
And we don't have any massage parlors in town.
Yes, we do.
We do.
We have others on Union Street.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure if, I know there are other spas that are out there. I'm not sure exactly what services they offer. But usually massage is one of them, so I think we should look at that also.
I will look into it.
Everything else, actually, what have we done as far as recreational camps for children?
We have several recreation camps.
We've always said it'd be hard to get, I know we have.
We have
them.
several.
As far as,
Mhm.
I know pool-wise, we have.
We send them out, their permits. I don't know what the process is as far as if they were inspected or not.
I can answer that for you.
Sure.
On the camps and stuff, the health agent has to inspect it they have to get a water sample from the pools to make sure,
For the pools.
yes.
Yeah, that, I know that has been done.
And they go down and they talk to the, I know the one up at the youth commission.
But
Um,
I'm very familiar with youth commission. I've
Right,
worked
and
closely
they-
with Jean and the staff there, so,
And she used to work with them on that.
yeah, I know that has been done. The water actually is for, I know people have been speaking about the quality of everything. I know for a fact that the water quality in Hartsuff Park and that man-made pond is probably cleaner than tap water that comes out of the, out of
And
there.
that's true, yes.
It is a, sandy bottom, so it does get murky, but, it's filtered and treated, and it's actually very clean. Samples have been done. My daughter, when she worked there, I had to drive her up there quite a few times to do the samples. I would like to look, besides the pool side, the water quality side, I think we definitely need to make sure that there's no other type of inspection as far as things go.
Yeah, so I've been in touch with, the health agent over in Hanover, and they have agreed to go with me to several pools. Because I hold my certification in pool inspector.
And you have the pool, you have the restaurant sanitation.
Yeah. So that will probably next week.
Don't forget we have pools at the hotels.
Yeah, they're all outside pools. Right now, we're not worried about the house.
You go to this.
I didn't know that they were outside, they were inside.
We
No,
have no
inside,
indoor pools,
We,
except for the,
the one at Evanston Street.
Emerson Schuloff and the swimming pool. Yep, those two will probably be done. I know I said next week, but probably the week after Thanksgiving.
Holiday, yeah. That's fine. So I know we do have the job description that we've
Can you
had here
add
for
something
years.
with-
Some of the things that, I'll let you, I just arrowed on some of them, I wanna review them.
While you're discussing that, so far to date, we've had 29 food establishments, permits turned in. We have probably 15, that are done, but I don't have them, and the deadline is Friday, tomorrow.
And then plus the 5 schools, right?
The 5 schools are all done, yeah. The catered, industrial commercial kitchens that have 5 or 6 caterers that are in there are done as well, but I do not have those.
Do we have a time frame from the inspectors? I mean, I know they're doing this outside of normal duties.
Tomorrow is the due date. I did speak with Eric Badger today, and he is going to drop it all off tomorrow. Rob Casper the same, and Hanover. They're all, tomorrow should be a fun day.
And for the record, there were no major violations.
No, there was no major violations, however,
Of what's been turned in.
of what's been turned in. However, there are probably 10 that we need to revisit to make sure they correct issues that the inspectors found in probably about 10 restaurants. And they will
All
be done.
All
minor.
issues that really do not affect the overall.
Yeah. Yeah. They will be done, the second go-round will be done before they receive their 2019 food permit.
Good. Thank you.
Can I just ask a question?
Yep.
Just for clarification, what do you consider to be a minor violation?
There are a difference between critical violations, which will force a closure of the restaurant, and minor violations, which we give them time to correct. There's a list of food code violations. We have that.
So I think,
Standard form.
yeah, if I recall, like, one of the common things was, you didn't have enough thermometers in, like, the freezers, in the fridges, and that kind of stuff. You know, there was no temperature issue with it at all, but more of their record keeping, in regards to that. So anything that's minor, there's no immediate life, life safety issue. You know, things that are major, things like, you know, having, say, raw chicken left out.
Right.
You know, that, the obvious stuff, you
Thank you,
know,
yeah.
like that, you
Okay.
know, not. Where are some other,
So is minor enough to withhold a permit?
Yes.
Yes,
if it's not corrected, yes.
yeah, you'll be correct.
Not enough to hinder business. And
Right.
one thing I said, you know, going with this whole process, and there's other changes that are coming with our inspection process,
Mm-hmm.
where we're going towards a letter grade system. So there's a little more transparency. But the whole purpose of our inspections, you having an agent go in, inspector go in and inspect, it's not to be punitive, but obviously you want to, you know, make sure it's safe. It's more of an educational side, you know, to make sure. That's why they take, you know, serve safe courses, plus the allergens and the choking, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, we're there to help educate them. Of course, push comes to shove, and you get some, you know, somebody that's maybe stubborn in their ways, that we've come across that at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then we need to, you know, put our foot down, and that's what we can withhold the permit if they refuse to, or just neglect making the corrections the inspector's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I think we.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Is there any kind of threshold for the minor violations that could result in a cumulative effect on a restaurant? I mean, it's, you know, for a restaurant to have maybe 10 minor violations at an inspection, it could be a grave situation.
We
Sure,
have a,
definitely, yes.
we have a timeframe by the end of December to get there, if there was any revisits that need to be. And like I said, there's only been 10. I've had the liberty to go out and shadow some of the inspections, and I gotta tell you, a lot of these restaurants were more than up to par. So they were already in good condition.
Now, I don't question that, but my concern is if you have an accumulative number of minor violations that could, you know, sort of identify a systemic problem in the shop.
We've not found that.
Okay.
We had not
The
found that,
big
but
question here is if, and that's, we've not found that.
if that was the case, if we did hit, yes, I don't know exactly, I don't have it in front of me, what the number is,
Alright.
but it is spelled out on the inspection form. That there was, you have X amount of, you break this threshold, then, well, that equals a major violation.
Major, right, thank you.
You need to be closed until you fix everything.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Will these letter grades that you're gonna come to an agreement with on the restaurant, will they be posted on the
Absolutely.
front entrance or the front window of the restaurant?
Absolutely.
Which they are not right
If
now.
you've been to a restaurant in Boston,
Yeah, that's why we say this.
basically that,
But right now, they're not.
no.
Right.
You don't see any letter grade.
That's not a requirement.
So
Boston,
you're gonna change the requirement, having them
we're
posted
gonna,
on?
we're gonna move into that, we're gonna move into that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was already started, but then this whole situation came up.
Yeah.
So we needed to make sure that all the, like I said, all the restaurants are properly inspected by
Will these
independent.
these inspections that you do, will they be public record, meaning I can come into the town
Sure.
hall and get a
Absolutely.
copy?
Absolutely,
They'll be open to the public?
absolutely.
There won't be a secret or anything?
Absolutely not. They never have, well, they never have been.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I have a suggestion. The health agent has always signed the inspections. So moving forward, I think that when Delshon does up the permit, that it should be brought before the board with the inspection, and the board should sign that sheet.
That's already a procedure that's been put in place in 2 weeks now. So the
Oh,
board
because
will
I've never
sign
heard it
off.
here, yeah.
The board will sign off on all food inspections going forward,
Yeah.
all permits.
Going forward.
The
And-
board will sign the actual permit that the establishments will be provided.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And then going forward, you know, at our regular meetings, if, you know, there's a, you know, general inspection or a follow-up inspection, at the next board meeting, it'll be on the agenda, you know, as far as the health agent's report, and we'll hear a follow-up as far as. the
Okay,
inspection.
so what I'm saying is, you know how the selectmen sign it at their meeting, it goes before the board and you approve it. That's what I'm asking if you're gonna do,
Yes.
so that the public knows.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Do we have any sort of a big brother going in place now after what we've been through? You're in the throes of hiring someone and you have all these qualifications and you're gonna do a thorough, I'm sure. But 6 months down the line, do you feel, as chairman, vice chairman and board, let's just go in and do a spot check. Every job I've ever had, I've always had some big brother come up and make sure I was doing what I was accountable for.
Spot check at the health agent, spot check at the restaurants.
Well, if it's a health agent, she'll be in the restaurant, but someone has to follow, this person, we could follow, we need a big brother. Because that's human nature. Oh, I'm not really feeling like this, I'm gonna let this one slide today. We need some kind of big brother or something.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, this town is, I don't know what big brother we can get, but, we're making a lot of changes.
As you know, the health agent does report to the board, and there's going to be, definitely be more oversight.
Mhm.
I think over the past couple months, I think I have, and it is a volunteer, board, but I have, Deltron, how much have I bugged you?
Huh?
How much have I bugged you lately, over the past month or two?
No, but we just need to know that, what I mean?
Absolutely.
We have senior citizens here who do like to go out to eat, but now I'm not going anywhere because their immune systems are weakened and, well, I don't know, you know what I mean? We just want somebody that we feel comfortable knowing you're hiring someone qualified.
Whomever gets in that, there will be better oversight than was in the past, absolutely.
Wouldn't that, though, not to discourage the use of Big Brother, but wouldn't that be under the, you must do the performance review of the health agent or the superintendent or whoever? So wouldn't that be part of the performance review that you do conduct periodic sit-downs with them, say, are you doing this, and you follow up on it? I don't think we need to assign like a Big Brother per se.
No, it won't be,
And I don't need.
No,
didn't
I
mean
just
to-
meant that term.
No,
That should be part of an
I think
overall job
she's
performance.
you want more oversight, is what you're asking for, and it's definitely gonna be there, absolutely.
But please don't take this for this board alone. I think just in general, that you conduct performance reviews. When I say you, I mean the town or any business
Oh, sure.
conducts performance reviews on their employees. That should be just part of one of the items on the checklist.
I thoroughly agree with you. As a paramedic, I have an informal review daily, after every call.
Oh, yeah, I would say.
You're always revisiting, you're always looking. And whether it's, working in an ambulance, as a chef in a kitchen, and after a busy Friday night, which as a few of you guys know, that's what I used to do before getting into the whole fire vest thing. You're always looking back and critiquing your performance or somebody under you. So that will be taken care of on more than just a yearly review basis.
As far as the moving forward and the interviewing process of interviewing the candidate for the next health agent, is there a process in place that there will be a board or is it going to be the existing board that is going to make that determination? Or for instance, just to put it out there, for the town accountant, was created a board of financial people to come together to suitably interview in conjunction with our human resources staff to say, well, let's pull all this together and get a pool of individuals and get their feedback as to what would potentially benefit. Is there anything in the works for that to be similarly done, or is it just going to be the Board of Health board that will in fact make that determination?
Well, we will certainly work with Human Resources to hire a health agent. The hiring of a health agent is completely different than the hiring of a town accountant. An agent is actually, in the absence of the board, an agent is the board, not a hired hand, so to speak, not like a health inspector. It's a different situation. We found ourselves in a tough spot because this health agent has worked for this town, and I thought reliably for a long time, and what happened in the last little while, I'm not sure. This is a long-term employee who, for years and years, we've worked hard and we've done what I thought was a good job. I'm not sure when the job started not getting done.
I guess my question is, how did you not know that? I guess when did it become?
How do I cover a full-time job by being here one night a month? That's
But
what.
did you ever get complaints? Did anybody ever come in here and want some meeting and complain about a restaurant?
No.
Did anybody ever, no, you never got a complaint? How long you been on the board for? How many years?
I've been on the board for 18 years.
18 years, and no one's ever come in and complained?
We've not gotten any complaints.
I've only been
At the
on
board.
for just over a year, and I don't think unless we've had like a special interview process with, say, like tobacco control or something like that, we've never had anybody. I mean, and all the meetings are posted on the website, per open meeting law.
And that's
This is not the
because,
agenda.
there have been complaints.
Right.
They
That went through
complain
the
to
audit.
the health agent, who
Right,
just takes care of it herself,
correct.
doesn't even inform you guys, and that's how it's been
That's
for the last
that will change.
so many years.
That's how it was.
Right.
Going forward, as far as we're concerned, complaint comes in during, say, the month of February. The health agent, his or her job description, handles it, does whatever's needed for that complaint. At the next meeting, it gets brought up in the health agent's report. I know, we do pop in, it's not easy, I don't like using it as an excuse, but, we do have full-time jobs, but like I said, I know I personally have been trying to get in here as best as I can to see if there's been any issues or whatnot.
Have you guys had any thoughts on potentially using an outside agency to do some of the restaurant health inspections?
We'll look into that. It's done in a lot of towns.
Yeah.
And had we known that it's a potential problem, we could have addressed it earlier than this.
I really don't think you need someone from the outside if you get a health agent that's gonna do their job,
Well, that's what we're not sure of.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
so not to get into the debate, I'm kind of in that industry, and a lot of towns use that
There's a lot of.
outside
there's a lot of
agency as a
subcontract.
secondary,
Yeah.
so if they're doing 2 inspections a year, one is done by the health agent in the town, one is done by an outside agency.
Okay, that's
So
a
you
good
actually have
idea,
two.
so you have two different people.
I'll
It does add your
I
cost to a
agree
little
to
bit,
that,
but
yeah.
it gives you some, what's that?
I'm just gonna let you know that that's very costly, having another,
Nope.
most of these establishments already have a.
Delia, I understand
A
that,
plan
but
in
what is
place.
also costly is if we have
No,
an
I-
outbreak on a foodborne
I mean,
illness.
we were lucky that nobody got
You know
And
what,
that's why when I said that, I
I
prefaced
agree
it
with
saying
you
that it does
100%.
add cost to it.
Yeah, it does.
But the safety of people, you can't put a price on that. So
No.
again, it's, so you
I'm
look
not
at,
saying that, I'm
so you
looking at
gotta,
the
you
town.
gotta weigh the pros and
100%
cons and what it is.
100%.
Yep.
A lot of the establishment that I was able to attend to, they all have their own plan in place too. So they're getting their own inspections.
So they'll have to
done.
have a HACCP program in
They
place and they have to do that.
yes.
Yep.
I was fortunate enough to be able to gain that knowledge out of being out on the field, that a lot of people do have those plans in place. I don't believe with the number of establishments that we have, that 2 inspections a year isn't, I think it's plenty. I think that the 2 inspections, so their permit, when they apply for an application, their permit covers those inspections.
Yep.
And in other towns, if there is a revisit, the cost is on the establishment, and that's,
No, I'm well aware of that.
yeah, so.
So do we require the establishments to provide their HACCP program as part of the food permitting process?
When you go out and do inspections, you do verify if they have a hazard plan.
But we don't make them
Nope, we do.
put it as part of the
Well,
permit?
we will
Okay.
now.
Okay,
I've learned that, yes, we will
Okay.
now. Yep.
Yes, I think what Rich was alluding to is really a system of checks and balances. So to have outside agencies that larger corporations would change, like say McDonald's or Burger King, maybe even 99.
The 99 does. They use an outside
So
agency.
they have outside agencies already built into their program, but it doesn't relieve the authority or the inspectors from doing due diligence. So that's kind of a checks and balance. But in keeping that in mind, even with outside agencies, some things can fall through the cracks. So we need to be diligent because McDonald's Corporation, for instance, owns Chipotle's. And there's been a widespread media over several years about Chipotle's. So it isn't systemic just to Rockland. I think that it sounds like the board really has a handle on it, and somewhere along the line, the authority who is charged or elected to see this through, something broke down. And now's the best opportunity to kind of reel it in.
Apparently, we're gonna find
Listening
out.
to the board,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like we've been getting complaints daily of salmonella or other types of poison, food poisoning. It's not that that can happen in your own home too. So I think that's what Rich's point, almost like checks and balances and peace of mind, and know that we do it due diligence and the reporting's done.
I was just throwing it out as some communities that do that.
It's been considered, it's on the radar. You know, as you know, this, like I said, you know, it is costly. So we have a budget, we have to work with it.
Right.
So the whole, like I said, you know, a little bit of balance between, you know, the health agent's job description and that salary, and do we need somebody else to come in to supplement the inspections? What's that gonna cost?
And if there are costs, then that's what you bring to the finance committee and see where we can and if it's really a need.
Oh, they stopped the vouchers this year, why can't you use that 30,000?
We're looking at that.
Vouchers are still on the radar. We haven't completely we haven't totally put them aside.
I think we should stick
When I
to
worked
the
there, we did have
agenda.
salmonella cases, quite a few.
Yeah, Stacy, that's a very good point. We're kind of going off agenda here a little bit. We don't want to make any violations. The open meeting.
Okay,
So, where were we?
well, we were gonna look at approving a health agent job description. And it is my belief that the draft that we have here from Rockland is a good basis. We have some opinions on a couple of the other towns that we could add some stuff in. What is the board's pleasure, what do we wanna add in? And if there's any overlap, maybe we could combine those paragraphs.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
A lot of
I have
it's
some-
covered in general.
I've reviewed Whitman's and I like some things that it was more clearly defined in Whitman's. We are meeting again next week, so rather than be under pressure, I would rather present what I'd like added and have time to review it. This is really important, this step that we're about to face.
Absolutely.
I wanna do it right, I wanna fix whatever went wrong to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
so do we wanna
So I get-
table the discussion on the health agent position until next week?
I would like to
Question
add
if
it
it
to
could.
Go through the chair.
yeah, sorry.
Do we wanna table the discussion on health agent, his job description and posting until next week? What's the board's pleasure?
I would like to do that. I would like to make a motion that we do revisit this with what I wanna add, what Scott might wanna add, what you might wanna add, and then vote on it when it's all together, instead of I wanna add this and there and.
Mr. Chairman?
Can I just remind you guys that we have a public hearing on tobacco regulations?
Yes.
At 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it can still be added to our agenda. This is
The
too
agenda's already
important.
been posted.
You can revise
You
it.
can revise it before it
Okay.
goes.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, with respect to the job description, and I'm kind of new to the town politics, but in the past, was there ever any specific expectations of the health agent with regards to job performance being measured by goals and objectives that the board sets for that agent? It's the best way to measure performance.
Right, and if, we would have an annual review the health agent, and typically the health agent and I would have an annual review. And it's like every job description I ever had in the corporate world, it would be the same thing over and over again.
But in conjunction with that performance review, to have it as complete and thorough as possible, I think it would be incumbent upon the board to define that person's minimal responsibilities as having a tangible set of goals and objectives
Which is what we're.
that get part of the annual review.
Correct.
Thank you.
We have a job description that's been in place for a long, long time. And what we're seeing in a couple of the other towns is maybe a little bit of refinement in some of the paragraphs. And I think that's where we're, rather than just sit here and flounder around, we'll add those into what we had. Everything that's in the Rockland Health Agent job description will in all likely stay with a little bit better explanation from some of the other boards.
Thank you.
What input, if any, are you expecting from the Director of HR in establishing this new job description?
We're expecting input from HR, I mean, that's obvious.
Okay.
Respectfully, for the new employee, an annual review, I think it should be like 3 months. If you're finding that you're not carrying your load, we're gonna move on to the next candidate. An annual review, even when I started a new job, it's 90 days or something like that, and I'm thinking this job,
Right.
annual is,
Right.
whoops, we did it again, you know what I mean? I don't wanna hear, I don't wanna see Rockland in the news anymore.
We're talking replacing a 17-year employee with a new employee, so there's gonna be some changes in the way things are done, because it's a very difficult situation that we find ourselves in.
Right.
I think as far as, the review, I mean, and please don't take this the wrong way if I say it the wrong way. That's why we elect the commission to oversee that. And I think with checks and balances put in place, that could accomplish that goal of, we're gonna know, they will know within 3 months if they're not performing up to par.
No, I
Rather than going in and reinventing the whole wheel
That's
after one
standard
screw
practice
up.
for a new employee is a 90-day probation.
Right.
Right.
That's standard practice.
That's standard, but I'm
That's
saying,
obvious.
overall, this is gonna be, with any luck, the person is capable and does the job. They're still gonna be reviewed annually, there's no need every 3 months. As long as there's checks and balances put in your position, so you see these things.
Right.
And
The
I'm
reporting,
sure you guys will work to
will
that.
be more thorough.
Yeah.
The monthly, the health agent's report. And we've always been satisfied with the health agent's report. There's a lot of duties to a health agent.
Yes, there is, but you know what, you live and learn, and we learn.
And if there's more to the health agent's position than the health agent can handle, we'll have to figure out a way to deal with that. But that's the part we were not informed of.
That's, you face that in every business. My background is engineering, we used to always do a lessons learned after every project. And this is what we learned.
We do have a motion on the floor, or?
What's that?
I just had one question that's, it's a curiosity factor. How long, as far as you know as a board, how long has this been going on?
We do not.
You don't
Talk
know.
about this.
So,
This is not
We-
on the agenda.
but there,
We do not know. There is an investigation going on.
Potential litigation.
We do not know.
We
That's the answer
cannot
to the
discuss this.
Yeah.
We really,
Can't.
We are here, we've got a motion in front of us.
to table
We've
them.
got a second, we've got a vote, the table, the discussion about health agent position. Have we done bill vouchers? That was on the agenda. If we haven't done that, we'll table that till next week also.
I'm
Do I hear a
all
motion
set.
on that?
Make a motion
Motion, second,
to
all in
revisit
favor?
that, okay.
All right. So now do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second,
Factual.
all in favor?